welcome to a special edition of Fort Fuel News. My name is Mariah Sennison, and I will be one of your hosts for the duration of the show. By now, I'm sure you have heard about the 3-credit change here at Fort Lewis. And for those of you who haven't, Fort Lewis has recently voted and agreed upon a 3-credit course system change that will be implemented in a few years. The Independent and Fort Fuel News has decided to dig a little deeper by asking some of our professors how this change will affect them professionally and how it will affect their department. Here's what they had to say.
Sure, I'm Jim Cross. I'm an associate professor in the exercise science department here at Fort Lewis. Probably doesn't have a great impact on me. I do currently teach a 4-credit course right now this term, so I'm not entirely sure how it will affect that. But overall, primarily I teach 3-credit courses and lower, 2 credits sometimes.
How does a 3-credit switch affect your department?
Probably a similar answer. We're primarily a 3-credit department, but we do have some 4-credit courses. So it kind of remains to be seen whether those will need to be adjusted to 3 or not. The one I teach currently has a lab embedded in the course, so that creates the 4th credit. We'll see whether we'll be able to continue to do that or not.
Official title, please.
Ryan Haalland, and I'm professor and chair of the Department of Physics and Engineering here at Fort Lewis College. Well, I think for us professionally, if the model gets approved in terms of the workload, as Provost Morris said, then we will see some relief in our workloads down the road when we get to implementing it in 2016. So for me, it's not about working less, but it's having a little bit more time to do research, which I think is important for our students and for our faculty professionally as well. So we're excited to have the opportunity to have some real dedicated research time.
And how would you say that the 3-credit switch affects your department as a whole?
Well, we think it's fairly positive in the sense that we're already a 3-credit program. So it really impacts our students very little in terms of what we expect them to take. From our perspective, for courses outside of our program, we think it's great because they now get to take more courses in the liberal arts side of campus, and we think it helps to make them a more well-rounded student. We really are passionate about having our engineering and physics students become well-rounded by embedding that education within the liberal arts context. So having 3-credit classes allows them to take more on the other side of campus. We think that's a really good thing.
My name is Barth Cox, and I am assistant professor of English and communications. Professionally, it won't affect me at all. I'm going to tell you something actually that you don't know. The department decided this past November, to discontinue my tenure track, so I won't be here when the 3-credit come into effect. So it won't affect me at all.
And how do you think the 3-credit switch would affect your department?
You mean what you do about nothing? That they're actually working their ass off to. What it's gonna actually do, it's gonna force faculty members who have basically been working part-time to work full-time. It's going to force faculty members who haven't published in many years to actually publish. It's going to force faculty members, or maybe not publish, but at least do the research. It's going to force faculty members who have been sliding that they can't slide anymore. It's going to take the power, some of the power that the faculty has right now in making decisions, and force them to make decisions where they should have been making decisions, like on curriculum. What effect? It's not going to really, in reality, it's not going to have any more effect on anyone. I mean, you're going to be teaching 4 classes instead of 2. We have 3 faculty members in our department that teach 2 classes. And they have a 1 class that, they get credit for. Now they have to teach 3. Big deal. big deal. Do what the rest of the college is doing. You know, it's not. It really won't have that much effect in reality.
I'm Janine Fitzgerald, and I'm a professor of Sociology and Human Services and Environmental Studies. I would say in multiple ways. I've been involved with this college for a really long time. My father taught here for years. He retired about 6 years ago. I've been teaching here for 20 years. My son just graduated from Fort Lewis a year ago. And so my profession is sort of connected with feeling like Fort Lewis is a community or a family. And I would say that this switch has really devastated that there are really bad feelings on this campus now that I've never experienced before. And it's interesting how that affects my sort of professional idea of what it means to teach, how I've always felt like I'm part of a liberal arts community, and so everyone who's teaching I think is doing a good job, and suddenly basically in the social sciences and humanities, our competency has been brought into question, and that's very hurtful. So it's sort of changed my idea of my profession from a really fun and exciting thing to something that's been very difficult.
And how does a three-credit switch affect your department?
Our department has been all 4 credits for 25 years maybe, so long before any of us have gotten here. We've built a curriculum around that, and one of the big sort of emphasis in sociology is have students involved in the community and in service learning and community building. This will have sort of a dramatic, we haven't figured out how we'll sort of maintain that integration with the community as well as this, as well as this 3-credit switch. So it'll have a dramatic impact. We also have some of the lowest number of required credits for any department at the college, and this switch would put us down to 33 required credits, which isn't even technically a major. So we're going to have to make up a bunch of new classes, but it won't be in sort of the thoughtful way based on student feedback that's been going on for 25 years. It feels like a real attack on what we're doing.
Change can be difficult for anyone, let alone an entire college. We wanted to find out the professor's initial reaction to the switch and how the change will impact Fort Lewis College going forward.
My reaction, I think I'm probably the only person in the English department who basically understood why it was happening and was not upset by it. The 3-4 credit switch, the switch to a 3-credit is actually bringing us in line with most schools in the country at this point. The other issue is that we work on 120-hour credit graduation, and 120 hours is not designed for 4 credit hours. It's actually designed for 3 credit hour courses. And if we're, since the state of Colorado switched us to 120 a few years back from 128, 128 is actually the credit limit that's allowed on a 100, on a 4 credit hour course. That's a reality. That's part of the situation. I wasn't concerned about it. I think there's certain expectations that people are upset about right now. One of the expectations is for tenure faculty to actually do their job and actually do research. And I think that many tenured faculty in this college has done nothing. Some of them haven't published in 20 and 30 years. And this is going to force them to actually do what they're supposed to do, which is be up to date. Keep the same thing that you do to your non-tenured faculty, your tenure track faculty. That your tenure faculty, once you get tenure, it means that you don't sit on your ass and you never do a damn thing. Personally, I wasn't surprised by it. I knew it was coming. I was also probably the only person that really in the English department that actually saw it and understood why it was happening. you know.
To the credit switch?
I couldn't believe it. Because we had just had filled out a report for the 3-4 credit task force. We'd gone to the Senate. We'd gone through all the channels. There are some divisions on campus, but we thought we had dealt with the workload issue of the sciences, which was really onerous. There was a real need to deal with that. And then suddenly the president and the provost called this emergency meeting. We always have these emergency meetings right around finals week, and sort of said, all your work is going to go away, and we're going to bulldozer over the way this college works. It was really shocking.
I'm a well-known, long-time proponent of the 3 credit issue. So, I mean, I don't mean to say I'm well-known, but people know where I stand on this, and I've been proponent of it. So I was very pleased to see us move in that direction. I think it's important for the campus to move forward in this area, and I think, again, I'm here because my undergraduate experience was at a liberal arts institution, and I'm very passionate about having students at the liberal arts level get exposed to as many different ideas and subjects as possible. And I think with the 3 credit switch, we're going to have more opportunity for students to explore areas that might be exciting to them that they may not have had a chance to explore, given we had fewer courses in the curriculum. So I was very excited, and I think it's a good step forward for the campus.
What was your first reaction to the 3 credit switch?
Probably finally, because it's been an issue for a long time here, probably 15 years. And we haven't been able to resolve it, quite honestly, as a faculty. So I probably had some feelings of, okay, finally a decision has been made on this issue.
Sure, my name is Alex Thompson, and I'm the Fort Lewis College Student Body President. So my position's awkward in that it's not my job necessarily to take positions, it's just my job to relay the students' concern to administrators and faculty. However, most of the students I came in contact with were staunchly against the 3 credit switch. So when I heard that the Board of Trustees were unanimous in their decision to switch over, I was very disappointed in some ways because the students were adamant in that they were concerned about the pedagogical aspects of switching to a 3 credit curriculum. And they were concerned and they wanted their voice to be heard, and I let the Board of Trustees know in all ways possible that the students were against this by and large. But their unanimous vote to approve it kind of left me a little shell-shocked.
The AAUP stands for the American Association of University Professors, and they seek advanced academic process as well as shared governance. We asked the professors if they knew about this organization and their involvement in a 3 credit system.
So the AAUP is the American Association for University Professors. It is a group that's been together for 100 years. They're just celebrating their 100-year birthday, basically, this year. And their initial focus has been academic freedom, sort of supporting academic freedom in the classroom. But they've also, for the past 50 years, also been very involved in shared governance, which means sort of that the faculty and the administration govern the curriculum, the college together. And so a lot of the work that they do now is based on shared governance. Fort Lewis started a chapter of the AAUP just in December, even though it's been around for a long time. And our focus is that how this is a violation of shared governance, because the Board of Trustees, at the behest of the president and the provost, is suddenly telling faculty how to teach and what to teach, basically. And so we have a very active group now, and we've been getting both national and state press with the AAUP.
I know about the AAUP. I know that there was a movement when I first started here by, I can't remember who it was, who was trying to get it put into place. Up until this 3-4 credit thing, they really weren't able to get people together on it. To my knowledge, I mean, that's what I know about it. I know that once the 3-4 credit switch came into effect, a lot of these people started jumping on it. And something I do want to point out is that when you look at what has happened because of this 3-4 credit switch, it's not because of you guys, not because of the students that they have done any of this reactionary type stuff. It's done because of their own jobs. And they're all, these people are afraid they're going to have to work some more. They will. Duh.
And finally, we asked if there was anything they wanted to add to this heated subject.
My colleagues and I have been drawn to Fort Lewis because we love teaching. It's teaching first for us. That's what got us here. And on this particular issue, unfortunately, as I said, we have not been able to come to agreement on it over a long time period. And it's really due to passion on both sides about how we should handle this part of our curriculum. We're very guarded about curriculum. It's the one area that faculty has input and power over. And so that's something very precious to us, and we're passionate about it and how it should be handled. But I do feel that since we were not able to resolve it as a faculty, a decision did need to be made, and the board and the administration has made that decision. And I'm hoping that we can move on from there because it's past time that it be resolved.
No, I guess, I know that this is a very divisive issue on campus, and I respect all of my colleagues who are on the other side, or the side for the 3-4 credit mix. I do believe personally, though, that this is a good step forward for the campus, and I think I've hopefully articulated why I think it's good. At the end of the day, it's about students. And I know student opinions may differ from mine, but again, in a liberal arts setting, I really believe that the opportunity to explore lots of different areas is really important in a liberal arts setting.
I am hoping that, it was interesting because the provost at the Board of Trustees meeting said maybe it's time for a little disruption. And I have seen an erosion of faculty governance and faculty control over curriculum for some time now. Our department specifically lost the Center for Service Learning, which had done a lot, and 2 of our faculty members they weren't faculty, they were adjuncts. They were let go, and the innovative months were basically put on hold for this year. And so I am hoping that we will emerge from this a stronger, healthier campus. Right now it's brutal.
I think the biggest issue about this 3-credit switch is not so much that the merits of it, because I think the administration did make a powerful argument for switching to a 3-credit system, and in many ways I actually agree with them. However, I do think that there could have been more time to consider the opinions of the faculty and students. The faculty's governance voted to keep the credit model the way it is right now, and the students by and large did not want to move the switch either, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of time for the administrators or the Board of Trustees to take those into consideration. It felt very swift. So I think the largest concern is that we have a system in which we can make broad administrative changes for our school without a really great consideration of the people it most drastically affects. So that's my largest concern. I think personally I'm okay with the switch because it's an administrative decision that will make transferability easier. It will make scheduling courses a bit more seamless. There are some positive aspects. I just think the overall way in which the change was adopted is problematic in terms of how the students and faculty opinions were considered.
The 3-credit switch is a slow process that many are going to have to adjust to. We just hope that the college can come together post 3-credit switch.
And that wraps up our special edition of Fort Fuel News. Remember to go online for all your Indy news and check the big yellow boxes for our new print issue.
I'm Anthony Martin.
And I'm Vanessa Van Gelder.
And I'm Mariah Sennison.
And go
Go
Skyhawks!